It's time for the Steve and Kyle podcast with Steve.
Champions show up. When the game's on the line, a champion shows up. I showed up. I was tired. You know, to put this up there with like the Michael Jordan flu game.
Yeah.
The Steve Tired show.
Whew. The Steve Tired show 2020. Which was better, Michael Jordan flu game or Steve Tired shows? We'll see how that comes back.
Yeah. Did Michael Jordan play 2 games that day? No. He just played 1.
And how long was it again? Oh, that's right. 48 minutes over 4 quarters.
And Kyle.
I'm starting to think Michael Jordan wasn't that good.
Am I the GOAT? It goes Steve, Jordan, LeBron, Jordan.
Yeah. And then fill in the honorable mentions however you see fit.
Yeah.
Live on tape from APS 3 point whatever, it's the Steve and Kyle podcast.
You know, we have some good conversations before the mics go on.
Mm-hmm.
Some would say, why not record them and release them instead of what we do?
Yeah. Maybe it would be good then.
Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Might be some repercussions. From
Steve and Kyle Unfiltered. Finally, at last, what you've all wanted. The unhinged ramblings of 2 middle-aged white dudes in a basement.
Anyway, maybe one day, the secret project we've been working on.
6 months.
No, it won't. No. Who are we kidding? That would be a terrible idea.
Be a fun grift if we're ever out of options. That's how we get back into the graces of advertisers.
Yeah.
Steve, this doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
But I look up at the Tron today. Mm-hmm. Aptly named, by the way. Beautiful television.
Still, I mean, the Insignia Plasma from what, 2000?
Is that a plasma still, you think?
I think so.
We'd be able
2010?
Maybe.
2011?
We'd be able to tell because if you tried to lift that, if it was plasma, it would be 3,000 pounds.
It's very heavy. It's full of plasma.
How is that not? Like, is there plasma poisoning? Like, I know there's mercury poisoning. And I'm just assuming these are
I don't know.
Similar.
I assume it's a different kind of plasma than is in my blood, right?
Can we take that and go bring it to the donation spot and get like $100?
Bring it to BioLife.
Get like $200? Just drain the television?
Probably a different kind. But anyway, we digress.
But this is pretty rare that we are backed up. It's like we're pent up with content.
Oh, look at all that. Wow.
There is, I mean, just top of my head, that's double digits of items that we have in the hopper that we can and eventually need to get to.
We got a weird recording schedule over the next month, as we talked about. As we sit here, it is a Wednesday night.
Yeah. So this is a good problem to have, but it also makes me think on a day like today, why don't we have like one of those crappy prize wheels, not a good prize wheel, like a good prize wheel that you see on TV game shows or whatever, but a crappy one, like at those local festivals and fairs.
Like at a radio station event.
Yes. Oh God. Yeah.
Where they
known for them.
So it's, about 1.5 feet, 2 feet in diameter, sits on top of the table. It's got wooden legs on it. The bearing in the middle that the wheel rotates on has been blown out for years. So when you try to spin it, it spins, but it also like wobbles on the little post in the middle.
Yeah.
Always stops on sorry, try again, or like a picture of a fart or something.
Yeah. And it's all handwritten on different colored paper that are inserted into the slots. Yeah. And you were talking letter openers. Some type of lanyard.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever went to an event because I was an intern with a radio station. I don't think I went to an event where they even had like tickets as a prize. I think the best prize was probably a koozie.
Koozie or there were movie tickets every now and then.
Were there?
Movie premiere tickets.
Man, those would be nice. Those would have been the belle of the ball at the events that I attended.
Mount Rushmore of radio station event prizes.
But there's one that, I guess there's one thing on this list that I need to get to because it's time sensitive. But I need to ask you something that I just noticed on the way in. Okay. having some adverse weather here in the homeland tonight.
Yeah, well, give it 15 minutes. Oh,
What they say, sunshine to storms and to construction. You're no different. We've told you this, and if you're the one posting those memes, stop it. Stop it.
Yeah.
Weather changes everywhere.
Yep.
Gosh. So I saw this on. You live in a pretty big suburb, okay? Like subdivision, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
And many streets. So 98% of the people.
We're on. Just to be clear, though, we are on the richest cul-de-sac.
Only one of these has the gates.
Yeah.
With the butler and the ID check.
I don't want people thinking that anybody can just come and hobnob it here.
You're not living with the commoners, okay? You're living on the sack. And
Zach. It's a Z.
Yeah,
Again.
It's pronunciation. Yeah, I'm seeing a speech therapist about it. That you publicly shaming me is not going to make it any better, I can promise. So I noticed something on the way in, and I thought I should ask Steve about this because I think you may have used to have been. God dang it! This is a Wednesday. We're not cut out for
You think
this.
it's a possibility that I used to...
Used to have been. Have used to been?
I think you're doubling up and you don't need to.
I think there's a possibility you may have been in the past.
No, but have been
In
means
the past.
it's already in the past.
Have been.
Yeah.
You may have been this person.
I may have used to been this person.
Correct.
Okay.
So I wanted to ask you because I rolled my eyes. There's a good chance this person saw me roll my eyes.
Oh, boy.
Because passed on the roadway, just, a little 25-mile-an-hour subdivision, as I move around. Rain in the forecast all day. There was one of those moments on the way here where you wish you had your camera ready because I could see the lightning bolt across the sky.
Yep. Yeah, I saw one of them this morning on the way to work. It was glorious.
Isn't it cool?
Yeah. Love it.
That's a sign of aging, by the way.
Sure, yeah, you appreciate a good storm.
Yeah. Kids don't care about that.
No, but we as adults, as grown men, when we see rain in the forecast, especially during the summer months, what's the first thing you say? We needed this rain.
I was just going to say, did you tell at least one person today? Boy, did my grass need it.
We needed this, right? My grass is starting to look like the Sahara Desert.
Does this podcast die by aging? Like, is that what it is? Because it's not like we're already the peak of interesting.
No.
But does it finally get to the point where you and I are sitting here talking weather? And we realize, who are we doing this for?
We need that shirt, by the way. Steve and Kyle, talking weather.
Talking weather. And it's just you and I sitting on two rockers on the porch. One of us saying, we needed this rain. And the other one going, So I see this person and I think, I wonder if you have experience. Because this person in adverse weather, storms advertised, definite rain, was doing his jog without a shirt on.
Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Now, you are not that far removed from your era of where you ran multiple marathons in your younger days. When was the last one? When was the last race you ran? Not necessarily marathon. Call it even a 5K or a half marathon.
I think the last half marathon I did. Well, I know that I've done a marathon since I've known Annette, which has been, we're 11 years in. I feel like it was probably, let's see, we met in 2014. She did a couple races in 2016, 2017, probably.
That was the one, if I remember correctly, you ran with zero prep.
I did a half with zero prep.
Got it.
Yeah. I don't remember what the order was, but there was a half and a full and maybe another half in there somewhere. So yeah, I'm 8 or 9 years removed.
So I guess I need to ask you, because if there's one thing that the list that everybody agrees on, is that runners are just insufferable as people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, if they're not actively running, they're talking to other people about how they ran.
Yeah.
Whew, I don't want to know one.
I like to think I didn't get that bad, but I may be too close to it to know for sure.
I mean, you're I wouldn't even call you removed from the situation. You're just a lapsed runner.
Yeah.
Like, if you went out for a jog tomorrow, do you think the itch could come back and within 6 months you could be doing a half marathon or something?
I'll tell you, the only time I really think about it seriously is when I start hearing and seeing advertisements for, there's a local race around here called the Riverbank Run. And it's like beginning to mid-May. And every year I'm like, kind of, that seems like I could do that.
That's a 25K?
25. Yeah, there's I think a 10, a 15, and a 25K.
Okay, which probably equals out to, does that equal out to about a half marathon or so?
25K is 15.
Okay, so a little more than a half marathon probably.
Miles.
But so yearly that pops into your brain.
I could be way off on that, by the way. I don't know. I used to know all those, but I don't know.
Not doing the European conversion very much anymore.
No.
So about once a year that pops into your brain. But spoiler alert, it probably will. When, like the next time you bring your kids to like a trampoline park or something like that, and you realize how gassed you're going to get within 3 minutes, it might pop back into your brain as well. Like, I need to do that now.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm going to be, dead when I'm 45.
Yeah.
Which is what I think pretty routinely.
Okay, so I'm in my final year.
Jesus, maybe I should have changed the digit.
Well, I mean, I guess I could live. I could live to 45 and 364 days. Sure. So I have nearly 2 years left.
And obviously, as we talked about, this is a hypothetical because you're in your mid 30s.
Yeah.
Oof, sneaks up on you. Wouldn't I guess that's 40. You do the math, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
turns out works.
Were you ever that guy? And it may have been back to when you were just living alone, apartment. When you just moved here, you were running. You were doing not regular marathons, but you were running.
Yeah.
Were you ever guy? It's like, weather be damned. I got to take this top off, and knowing you, it's one-handed,
of course,
because you're an expert.
Yeah.
And I've got to get out there for my 10-miler. You slip the earbuds in or the headphones on, and you went out there. Forget the weather, forget everything. Were you that guy,
Kyle? Even when I'm in peak physical condition, which is never, I have so much body shame. I can't imagine a scenario where I would ever feel comfortable doing that. Going for a run with a shirt off? No.
And I don't want this to be misconstrued. I was not rolling my eyes at the guy's physique whatsoever.
I know it's the guy that lives right around the corner. We refer to them as the naked runners.
Okay.
Because
him and his
wife are both very, very avid runners, very scantily clad when they run.
Got it.
Was he wearing his neon orange shorts?
They were not.
Okay.
But they were like the thigh highs that you see.
Oh, yeah.
And again, no top. And then the over-the-ear headphones, which you're doing all of this for comfort and, so you're not too hot. And then you jam a couple pieces of foam over your ears.
Right.
Seems counterintuitive.
Yeah.
But
go with the buds.
Now I feel like I need to somehow when you get back in the game, because you don't think about it. Think when that pops into your brain next year, make that mental note, bring it up here on this podcast so we can get some stakes for you.
Okay.
To get back in the game.
Oh, I thought I was thinking actual stakes.
Well, that would be like a stake for a steak, right? Because I want you prepped for the next 25K. And if that involves you missing a deadline or missing some marker and you out there wearing booty shorts and nothing else while you're training to make sure that happens,
sure,
then so be it.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I see this guy out there. Is there anything that you would say, well, I'm sorry, I can't cancel it, that you had planned? Because there's thunderstorms and rain that have been pretty consistent all day and only going to get worse tonight. Is there something out there for you to be like, well, no, I don't care. I'm doing it. I'm cutting down this tree tonight.
No. No, it's so easy. When I see rain in the forecast, you know what the first thing I think of?
After we need this rain.
After we need this rain. It's going to be a good nap day. Who doesn't love napping when the rain's hitting the window?
Even
you hear the pitter patter.
Even on a Wednesday?
Even on a Wednesday. I didn't today though. I have been laser focused on the Comanche lately.
I've noticed, and I wanted to ask you because I want as a quick follow up from last week's episode, I need to know how you have recovered from Whirlwind Saturday, Steve Saturday, that's WSS.
Yeah.
I don't like putting SS together. I'm just gonna not do that with any
I appreciate that.
with any
especially
prerequisite.
especially when it comes to my name.
So the Whirlwind Steve Saturday that we talked about last week's episode will leave any person physically drained, mentally drained.
As you heard in the intro, it's right up there, possibly above the Michael Jordan flu game.
No, it is.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
okay.
listen, I've seen.
I didn't want to brag.
Let me try to get a quick sneak peek on the poll because there's a poll related to that from last week, and a quick update about where Steve ranks on the games. Again, that's Michael Jordan flu game. Boy, we should have put the Kurt Schilling bloody sock game on there.
Kurt Schilling bloody sock. Okay,
man, where you rank? Because again, you did 2 tired shows Friday, and not many people can say that.
Two tired shows bookended with a moderate to somewhat long drive.
With 69% of the vote. Oh, come on. Steve's tired shows better than the Jordan flu game.
Yes.
So we're sitting here on a weird Wednesday night. And again, very uncommon that we do this. I think this may break the seal for Wednesdays that we've recorded on. How long did it take you, as a man in your mid to early 30s / within the last 364 days of your life, apparently? How long did it take you to recover?
Boy, Saturday was pretty rough because I got back and immediately we had, my mom was here, Annette's parents were here, and then her sister and our nephew were here for little birthday party for Nikki, which I was struggling.
For the birthday party?
I was struggling. I got through the party, but then afterwards I was like, let me just sit down on the couch and fell asleep for a little while. And, so I don't even know if that was Saturday. I completely forget what day. It wasn't until Monday afternoon that I was feeling good. Because I woke up Monday morning and the worst feeling in the world is waking up without an alarm when you're supposed to be waking up with an alarm. And luckily, I shot out of bed at about 5:17 and wondered, what the heck? Where's my phone? Why didn't my alarm go off? Turns out I was so tired still on Sunday night, the previous night, that I left my phone downstairs on the kitchen counter. And just by some miracle, my body clock was like, hey, you're supposed to be up now. And I barely made it to work in time. But it took me, I would say, until Monday afternoon to feel normal again.
That's a pretty straight 48-hour recovery.
I know.
And I'm not diminishing what you went through. I think what you did to get home is incredible.
And you've been in the trenches.
Yeah.
You know what they're like.
Yes.
Just slop to your left, mud to your right, and you're just digging.
There's only one way out.
By digging. Really, that actually gets you deeper. So it's
talk to any experienced trench digger, though. They'll tell you that's the only way out is down. I'll post that on the poll. All the experienced trench diggers tell you the only way out is down. 48 hours to recover from something that, while not diminishing what you did, because that's mentally draining and physically can be exhausting.
I appreciate your graciousness there.
48 hours to recover from doing nothing physical. It's the surest sign of feeling so terrible about yourself.
Have we forgotten about the croissant witch?
Oh, that's right. The croissant witch incident that almost ended it all.
I had to cross 2 lanes of traffic to get to that croissant witch. Somebody I did see commented on the Facebook post saying that they're going to be in that area relatively soon.
Really?
They're stopping in for a croissant witch.
They need
croissant.
to.
I can't. I go back and forth. Is it croissant witch?
I would go croissant witch. Croissant witch?
Because it's a croissant. It's not a croissant.
You're asking the wrong guy. Just 5 minutes ago, I was talking about having you been used to have been when you were a runner. And by the way, I don't want to get too far removed from the idea that I want to get you back on that running horse.
Do you?
Next year. For no reason. Other than just a really, I mentioned a couple of weeks ago to you that I feel like I've gotten ripped off by you because I was owed some debts this year of some hair and some beard nonsense and something with the Jeep that never came through.
Right.
Either way.
That's right. I'm sure I'll make up for it in some way. I'll do something.
So again, the long-term goal, get you back to doing a half marathon with the repercussion being you running across your neighborhood wearing booty shorts and nothing else.
It could happen.
And listen, this is a two-way street. I'm waiting for you to come up with something.
Sure.
Eventually. Yeah. To, get me out there to humiliate me. I don't know what else you can do. What, shave my head? Oh, no. Can't get worse.
No, you have to grow it.
That's right. Oh, no. Oh, God. Jesus. 3 months of, not cutting my hair. Whew. It would, oh, no. Can't happen. Cannot happen. The time-sensitive topic I wanted to bring up to you today.
What else we got up there? Let's see.
Is there were some unreturned texts during your live show, during your travel last weekend. Because a couple of episodes ago, I was given a job. And I don't take that lightly.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm pretty good at it. And we had a net come down, as you discussed. A genuinely shocking plan that I think, at least for me, it was. Your plan to return to the homeland, the motherland.
Yeah.
By way of highway and car.
Yeah.
And the whole gang of four.
Yeah.
Trekking back to New Jersey.
Yeah, it would have been weird to leave some of them at home.
Again, the most recent long-term family road trip ended with feces and vomit.
Ended? It started.
Endured.
Began. Endured. Finished. Every other word in there.
So I thought I'll take the onus. The onus is on me to make Steve and Annette's life.
I'll just put that phone down there.
Better. Because I think I ended this with saying this might be what I wanted, audio diaries of your trip.
Yeah.
Because I want to document the change in your tone as it goes on. But then I thought, you know what? I'm going to try. I'm going to try to get Steve and the family there by means of better hope, more hope.
Yeah.
So I sent you.
Exactly.
I went into travel agent mode. And I don't know if travel agents exist anymore.
TAM. They do, by the way. Well, they did as recent as 7 years ago, 8 years ago, whenever we went on our honeymoon, because we hired a travel agent for
you
that.
used one.
We did.
Did you get done with it and realize it could have been just done on, kayak?
No,
or price
not for the price that we got it. There is legitimately a reason. Now, if you're just up, flying to New York for the weekend, no.
And this was your trip to, I believe.
That was Sandals, Jamaica.
That's right,
Ocho
Jamaica.
Rios.
That's on the eastern seaboard.
No,
there.
you big dummy. I've told you a million times that's on the northern coast of Jamaica.
It's easy to forget. Okay, there must be 1,000 sandals in Jamaica, right?
No.
But this was the only one where you could, again, hear the sounds of the refugees trying to flee Cuba if the winds were blowing correctly, right?
It's right by all 8 of the Rioses.
That's right. 8 Rioses there. So you used one. So I went into travel agent mode for you on your behalf because the car ride trip to New Jersey only ends one way, and it's disastrously. Okay? The odds that you guys get there and you jump out of the car and high-five each other and hug seems slim. Seems more likely there's probably some kids having a bad day. Maybe some frustration on one of the adults ends, a wrong turn or missed a parking spot or I was hungry here, right? So I sent you some options. So I need to know now because the reason we're recording on a Wednesday is that this trip is pretty darn close it's in the windshield
next week. Yeah, when this podcast comes out, I'll be just days away.
Where are you at? Is this still an exploration for you? Or have you settled into loading the car up and hitting the road?
Well, Kyle, let me tell you. I just now clicked on one of the links that you sent.
Oh, yeah.
You said, got you to around $1,100.
That's for the whole fam.
That's for the whole family. Now,
You were welcome.
this was sent 1 week ago. In 1 week, it has gone up $1,502.
Steve.
It is now $2,602.
That was a good flight, too.
That was a good one. Yeah, leave here at 7 a.m., get there direct, 9 a.m., come back the following Tuesday, leave at 6:15 p.m., get back at midnight. Not the best, not your best work, but...
I gave you the alternative.
but,
I sent you the alternative. I said, if for 200 more, you get home at 9.
Sure.
Now, what about the
Wait,
other?
let's see. Hold on. Let's see how much that one is now. Oh, that one's actually cheaper. Okay.
Oh.
Cheaper by $50.
I thought you meant cheaper than when I originally sent it to you.
No. It's $2,560 some dollars.
Now, tell me, if you just take maybe the screenshot that's right above those links I sent you. I sent it to you on, I forget when, Sunday. It was 2 weeks ago Sunday. And it's a bit of a more drastic option. But if you sent that to Annette with no context right now, do you think you could have a sale on our hands to make this trip become a reality? Because what I sent you were 4 round-trip flights.
Yeah.
For the total cost of $359.
That was on Spirit, right?
And that was on the budget airline, and it was going to be a little bit of a back and forth in terms of...
Yeah, got to drive to Detroit.
But let's call that the seal breaker, right? Because maybe you're both having these conversations. Like, maybe you're both thinking, like, in your head, like, boy, I'd fly if we could find decent flights. And maybe she's thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
But neither of you have said that out loud. How do you think it would go? Do you think you'd have interest, or do you think it's too late?
I think there would be interest. And the reason I think there would be interest is because we booked this exact flight a couple days ago.
You did it!
We're flying, baby.
Travel agent Kyle is in business. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah. Now, we didn't get the great rate that you got because we waited probably 3 or 4 days. But we are flying, let's see, this was $359. Now, that was with the budget seats where you don't even get a carry-on bag.
Right. Your foot's going to be stuck in someone's armpit.
Right. So by the time we got to booking them, it was closer to, I think it was like $450 or so.
Huh. Chump change.
And then added in like a bag or something per flight. So we were still under $600 for all 4 of us.
Come on.
To fly.
Come on. That's wipe my hands of it. That's patting on the back. Because I did it.
You did.
I did it. And now I just sit back and await my cut. Steve, I feel like I cut you off earlier, which isn't out of the norm.
No.
Apologize for that, by the way.
That's all right.
It's been 9 years. Staring down the barrel of 10.
471 episodes. We'll get it. We'll figure it out.
I still feel like you and I should do one class of like couples therapy. You know what I mean? Record it, because obviously it's got to be content.
Yeah.
And just, that way, see if we can improve as podcast partners almost 10 years in.
I wonder, now I'm not currently in therapy, but recently removed. I wonder if I got in touch with my therapist because, things were left off on very good terms. And she said, if you ever need anything, if you ever want to come in just for like a touch up,
right,
let me know.
Yeah.
I wonder if she would do something like that. I don't know. Because I know she does like marriage counseling too.
That's essentially what we need.
Yeah.
Because, 9.5 years or just over 9 years. Right. So, we're staring on the barrel of 10. I don't think there's anything wrong with, we go in there, we sit down, and I say, listen, I have a problem. I keep interrupting Steve. And then you say whatever it is, and we hash it all out. Yeah. And next thing you know, we're coming back, and we got advertisers. We're interviewing celebs.
Oh, is that what's keeping us from making bank off of this podcast?
We're bouncing off each other like it's the first time, and it's all fresh.
Yeah. Before you know it, Hugh Jackman is going to be sitting here. We're going to be interviewing him for the new Wolverine movie or whatever.
Hugh Jackman would like Bobcat voice. That's a man who appreciates art.
You think so?
And I think he would appreciate Bobcat voice.
Is Bobcat voice art?
I'll post both in the poll. Would Hugh Jackman appreciate Bobcat voice, and is Bobcat voice art? Not going to take offense to it because you're just asking questions here.
Right. That's all we do here. We just ask questions.
But I did, you had briefly mentioned you've been in high-powered Comanche mode.
Yeah.
Did you want to discuss, did you want to give us a Comanche update?
That's all I want to talk about, man. I got the AX15 in, the NP242, it's in. Custom drive shaft coming from the drive shaft shop, hopefully tomorrow. That's right. So please, ask all of your questions that you no doubt have.
You just got through it all. Darn it. And what more could I possibly have to ask? I guess the only question I have about the Comanche at this point, because...
is why?
One, I mean, boy, are you questioning why at this point? Because drivable days for the Comanche compared to non-drivable days for the Comanche that you've owned it, which you're coming 5 years now? 4 years?
Coming up on 5.
If you had to guesstimate a percentage, drivable versus non-drivable days.
So drivable meaning I could have, but didn't necessarily.
Correct. Like it was available to drive for you on the street legally. If you had to guess a percentage split.
Oh boy. I think I'd be lucky if it was 50-50. Well, let me tell you, it's funny you bring this up because yesterday I looked at my Facebook memories and I had posted some pictures of the Comanche back in 2022, I think it was.
Did it look eerily similar to the way it looks now then?
It didn't look much different at all.
Okay. But in fairness, you haven't done an extraneous amount appearance-wise.
I have, no, that is the last thing to do.
Right.
Once I got rid of all the rust, I'm not focusing on the way it looks. I'm focusing on the way it drives.
Well, we know. The pictures are there. No offense.
God, I was just about to take offense to it, but I mean, you beat me to it.
But again, the time when you needed the Comanche the most, which is somewhat recently when you've been doing some stuff where you've needed pulling pallets or pallet products home, you haven't had it available.
It's been the one time where I was like, man, it would be really helpful if I had a truck. Oh, I do. I do have a truck.
This house probably goes months with Annette and children forgetting that there's a truck in there.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you guys start endeavoring into the liquidation station and Annette goes, oh, hey, great. We've got the Comanche. We're all set. You have to awkwardly kind of, scratch the back of your head. I'll go check it. I was changing a switch, but everything else should be good. And then you come back in an hour later with an elaborate lie, like, oh no, another raccoon must have dropped the drive shaft out.
Damn you!
Because as everybody knows, raccoons always go for the drive shaft first.
They do. Yeah, put that on the poll. That'll be 100%er.
And so, what is this update? That because again, you've been deep in the weeds. As of a couple weeks ago, you didn't have a transmission in it.
There was nothing.
I offered my services to assist. You didn't need it, partially because you went to put it in and you realized there was a hole in it.
That was a disappointing discovery. Anytime your car parts have holes in them that aren't supposed to be there,
gotta tell you,
big disappointment.
I don't know if there would be a bigger one. What would have been the bigger disappointment for you transmission-wise outside of finding a hole in it? There isn't.
I mean, yeah, I can't think of many. So last week, something lit a fire under my butt, and I went out and I was just tinkering around in the shop because I had just been kind of stuck in this mode where I was just working on little tiny things, and I wasn't seeing any progress.
It's not like the itch wasn't there either. You're an adult. Yeah. You're a married father of 2 who just drove 8 hours to make a ballet recital.
Look, man,
to say you have obligations is fair.
Yeah, it's I got enough going on, and when I don't have anything going on, sometimes I just want to relax.
And I think you'd agree. You thought this thing would be done 2 years ago too, right?
In my dreams, it was going to be like a 6-month project.
I gotta be honest with you. I'm jarred when I found out that there wasn't a transmission. I was taken aback.
Oh, and that transmission's been out for months.
I thought it came with one.
It did. It drove. It had one.
Yeah.
It just didn't have the one in it that I wanted.
Right.
So the one that I took out, There was nothing wrong with it. It still drove, but look.
But the match got lit.
The truck, when I bought it, was 2-wheel drive. I wanted the truck to be 4-wheel drive. That requires taking out the 2-wheel drive transmission, putting in a 4-wheel drive transmission, and the thing that makes it 4-wheel drive, which is called the transfer case. That takes the power from the transmission, splits it to the back wheels, to the front wheels. So I found all the parts I needed over the last couple of years. I was just looking for them. Eventually found them all. And so I'd been tinkering around, doing all the little stuff. It was like a week ago that I just said,
What am I doing?
Why am I just doing all these little ticky-tack things? I need to actually do the big things. So I went out in the shop. This is after the hole in the transmission was discovered and fixed by my welder friend. I had all the parts back, and I was like, there's literally nothing keeping me from doing this now.
What are you waiting for at that point? Like, internally, it's all here outside of having extra set of hands to do the heavy portions and maybe an extra set of eyes to be like, hey, Steve, you put that in backwards.
Yeah.
Or no, that doesn't go in the passenger seat.
Right. So I went out in the shop. I put the transmission all back together because it was welded up and fitting right. Put a couple new oil seals in it so it won't be leaking all over the place. And then it was sitting up on my workbench. And I was like, it's done being worked on. So hauled that thing down onto the floor, shimmied it under the truck. And I was like, oh, it's pretty heavy, but I can give it a shot. Like an hour later, the thing was in.
All by yourself.
All by myself. Now, you may remember, because you're a transmissionsman.
I'm a
just like me.
Yep. Talking train. Nope, not going to say that.
No.
We talk shop a lot.
We do.
You sent me one the other day, and I couldn't. I mean, I was just jarred. I was taken aback and just appalled at how it went. There was something about a seal in there, too. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
Not the animal.
No.
Okay.
No. Oil seal. Yeah.
Gosh.
So put the transmission in by myself, which for my money is one of my greatest physical accomplishments in my life. Got that in there, bolted everything up. All these parts that I had been acquiring over the last couple of years. A transmission from here, transfer case from there, mounting plate from there, cross member from here, that I had meticulously taken apart, cleaned up, painted them, made them look nice. But now it's time to put it all together. And I'm only going off the knowledge that I found on the internet, where everybody says, oh, this will work. Get one of these. It bolts right over to this.
Yeah. Because in a shock, there's a group of people who are invested in this just as much as you Jeep people, I mean.
Right.
So, again, I've texted you on the side. I'm trying to replace my center console lid in a new vehicle. Not new, but 2017. I can't find one single message about it, video. Yet you've got a 1988 Comanche, and you've got this group of other fine, upstanding folks rooting for you and telling you all the tips and tricks to get a new transmission in. Shocking.
Yeah. So I get the transmission in against all odds. And I think, well, now I just got to put the transfer case in. Had to do a couple little repairs to it first. Picked up the last couple parts I needed yesterday. Put it all on my workbench. Got it all built up. And then same thing. I'm like, well, time to huck it under the truck. Get under there. Basically lay the thing on my chest and then bench press it into place. Get it to line up. It took like an hour and a half to get all the bolts all tightened up. Man. But it's in. And today, stopped at the drive shaft place on the way home from work. Gave them all the measurements. Gave them exactly what I need. Yeah. The guy said, all right, I'm going to try and have it ready for you tomorrow. He said, it might be Friday, but I think I should be able to get it ready for you tomorrow.
Okay.
So when I leave work tomorrow, I might be going and picking up my drive shaft, bringing it back, bolting it in, which means that the drive line will be complete in the vehicle. It will, in theory, once again be able to drive. It will not be 4-wheel drive yet because I still got to do the front axle.
Are you kidding me? I thought this was it.
No. Oh no. No.
I think, and I don't want to speak for you, but for me personally, one of the more humbling aspects of this has to be, I came over the other night. I need to borrow something from you. And good news for you, I forgot it. So I'm going to be giving that to you tomorrow.
Quite all right.
And we had to go out to the shop to get it. And on the way out of the shop, you showed me the trees growing in front of the door. Trees. Now, I don't know. I don't need to tell you because you see it and you walk past it. But I need to tell the listeners that means that garage has been nice and sealed shut long enough for trees to start growing in the way.
Kyle, at risk of sounding really old, last year was a banner crop for acorns.
Up us on the poll. What's older, talking about the rain or talking about trees? The tree crop, sorry.
We had so many acorns drop in our yard that we have so many oak trees growing everywhere. Like if we don't do something about it in 2 years' time, we'll have, 100 new trees in our yard.
So you now have another job. So
yeah, now I have to excavate. I have to cut down trees.
Because you might get, if this transmission takes another, whatever, call it a month.
No, bite your tongue.
Sorry. Another hour. Over one night.
Yep.
You will need to remove these growths of trees in the way of getting the truck out. Because if you wait too long, again, I don't know if people believe me. Please take a picture during daylight if you have time tonight or tomorrow of what's growing. And then maybe a little short video of you when you pop one out. Because again, like you said, it's coming from the acorn.
The acorn.
If you wait too long, as of right now, you could probably get away with just dumping a half a bucket of either preen
right.
or spraying a bunch of weed be gone over the top. But I think in 30 days, if you wait.
You think that?
I think you're going to... It's much more work than you...
Okay. The root system will really have engaged with, with the dirt.
Yes.
30 days. Boy.
I can't believe you're actually going to come out here and guffaw at the idea that this 4.4 plus year project may take another 30 plus.
All I got to tell you is that when this thing is on the road, it will be
another
truck on the road. Truck on the road that
now is this going to
no one is impressed by.
Is this going to fix the gasoline smell from the cab at all? Has that been fixed?
Oh, come on now, one thing at a time here.
Sorry. So the front. Oh my god,
it doesn't smell that bad anymore. I mean, it hasn't run in 8 months.
Oh my god.
But the money I've saved on insurance by dropping that baby. You got like $80 in the account.
Do you, and this is just a moment of honesty between you and I here.
Oh, sure. So it's just us?
Just us. Okay. Do you ever look back, say, why the hell did I do this? Or are you still finding joy in it?
I'm finding joy in the little victories.
Okay. And what are those?
Getting a transmission in by myself. Getting a transfer case in by myself. The problem is, though, the stuff that I've done on my own over the last week is the most important stuff. And I'm not somebody who really knows what they're doing a lot of the time. So the stakes are high. If I've messed this up,
sure,
I got to pull it all back out.
No. At that point, Steve, you have to sell it. If you get, in your words, done to where you finally have the ceremonial key turn and get the thing, fire it up again. Yeah. Okay, you've cleared out the oaks. You're going to back it out of the garage.
Which, by the way, I have no reason to think that it won't start up. Moving is a whole other story.
It's been 8 months.
But it's going to start.
When you finally have this ceremonial, firing it up and backing it out or driving it out of the garage, if it doesn't go, for whatever reason, maybe not your fault. Maybe that darn raccoon came back and threw the drive shaft on the ground again.
Yeah.
Can I get your word on something today?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I want to go back. It's a 1330, 1310 hybrid drive shaft.
Do you have to go like cut that off of a nicer car or something, or how does that work? You're approaching the shell of this truck, and then some additional speaker wire and a door handle, and everything else is new. But can I get your word today?
Yeah.
That
I'm going to come over and pick you up as soon as I get it running. We're going to go for a
that's expected.
Go for a cruise.
That is expected.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't go for whatever reason, raccoon related or not, well, this can this be it?
Get rid of it?
I don't even know about. You'd have to get rid of it, because if you agree that it would be it, but you're going to keep it, that's like living next to the grave. You know what I mean? Like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You're just looking out at that miserable failure. If it doesn't go,
right?
But you have to stare out at that horrid abomination of a miserable letdown.
You know what would be the worst is if I do sell it. Mm-hmm. Like, I finally get to the point where I'm like, I've had enough. I sell it for pennies on the dollar to what I have into it. And somebody comes over to scoop it up and take it home. And they say, let me just see if I can get it started before I tow it out of the shop. Mm-hmm. And they pop the hood and they go, here's the problem. And like
turn a switch
or do a little wire jiggle. And the thing starts right up and it runs like a dream, runs like a top. I mean, we all know that won't happen.
It won't. What is there a straw to break the proverbial back here, camel's back? Where you would say the juice is no longer worth the squeeze.
Oh, I mean, the juice hasn't been worth the squeeze in easily 3 years.
I'm trying to figure out how to phrase that for a poll. Can you hang on to it if the juice hasn't been worth the squeeze in 3 years? Because is there a breaking point for you where you're like, well, maybe I'll just buy one that has 4-wheel drive in it. Right? At the cost of another thousands of dollars.
Yeah, no, because anything I buy, I'm going to have to do work to. So I have so much into this one at this point that I'm not going to say I'm never going to sell it, because we all know how I am with vehicles. I like buying them and selling them. Mm-hmm. But I think I'm keeping this one for a while.
I mean, it's already been a while. I think we can cross a while off the list. Like if it's one of those montages in a movie where we're Xing dates on calendars, I think we blew past a while 2 years ago.
Yeah. I still like it. I still go out when I walk in the shop, I look at it and I'm like, all right,
yeah,
this baby's going places.
You like it the way that we like our podcast trophies.
Yeah.
Podconies.
Yeah. Makes me smile.
Both things that sit there in a room that you visit weekly.
Yeah. The truck has approximately 50 more miles on it than these trophies.
Honestly, if you lifted up one of those and moved it to the table and then back, it's traveled more than the Comanche in 8 months. But hey, if that red and gray, immobile brick brings you, it's still bringing you joy, Steve.
So I'm taking offers on the Comanche for 1 week.
Because there's no way Annette is not the person who would ever tell you, hey, it's time to unload that. And you built a warehouse in part for a place to store it so she didn't have to look at it. Heaven forbid ride in it. Good God. So there's no way that would happen. So this would have to come from you internally.
I think that if I were to go upstairs to her and say, I'm done with it, I'm selling the Comanche, I actually think she would talk me out of it.
Sure.
She would say, take a week and just don't think about it. Don't go out there. Don't look at it. Don't work on it.
Well, it wouldn't be much different from the weeks before, like last week, right?
I mean, I'm kind of used to it.
Right. I mean, okay. Oh, hang on. So bring my brain back to March. And close your eyes and rewind, right?
But I mean, because I'm already thinking about, okay, well, what can I do with that space now? Should I get a pool table? Am I a pool table guy?
Oh God! I mean, are you gonna? You could become a pickleballer. Right? Could you get an indoor pickleball court? It's got enough room in there.
Probably.
Right? Concrete pickleball. I don't know if that's what people need.
That's probably what they do, right?
Yeah.
They play it on concrete.
Oh man. But don't think of it that way, because then you will start thinking of the better things that you could use that for.
I know. Yeah. I could get into woodworking.
Oh,
Turn that into my woodworking
studio.
studio.
You're gonna be now. You're gonna making like spindles, like music boxes. That's what's gonna bring you the happiness.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Listen, I did not come into this because you started this by saying it's been a week of productivity.
It has.
So
in theory, which I
don't do this.
I really don't want to say it.
Don't do it.
In theory. Okay, here's my checklist.
Mm-hmm.
Install the shifter.
Mm-hmm.
Install my shift linkage. Put the starter back in. Put the new drive shaft in.
That's not in yet?
No, I pick it up tomorrow, hopefully. And then oil, transmission fluid, gear oil. That's 7 things.
7 things.
Mm-hmm.
7 steps to financial freedom from your Jeep Comanche is what Steve's advertising.
Your words, not mine.
And that what I need is the Comanche to pick up Pallet 3.0.
That's the plan.
That needs to pick up Pallet 3.0. And I know you're itching to get to Pallet 3.0 because Pallet 2.0 is dry. Right? It is what it is.
We hit pay dirt
Yep.
on Pallet 2.0, but now we're just, we just got the random stuff. We got somebody coming to pick up the leftover duck fabric that was used to make these sound panels. That's obviously not from the pallet, but that was a big
More junk out of here though.
exactly.
So you need Pallet 3.0.
I really want to pick up a pallet in that. Although I'm terrified that they're going to pull the forklift out, drive it right up, drop it on the back, drop it in the bed, and then like all 4 tires are going to blow out and all 4 springs are just going to shatter.
I think for you, it's internal punishment enough, knowing that you're ready for Pallet 3.0, but you can't, you're telling yourself, and this is the way it should be, that internal shame, that you can't get it until the truck's ready. Because you don't want that text conversation again, do you, with your friend of...
I don't want to have to borrow a truck.
Uh-huh. You would be...
That means I probably should buy a trailer then.
Listen,
and if I want to get a good deal on a trailer, it's going to be in crappy shape, which means I'm going to have to do a lot of work to it to get it up and running.
It's a good thing you got
So
a place to store it.
Sounds like I got another project on my hands.
You would be... I thought we set a record, but we didn't. Because the record's going to be set if, in fact, you do need to borrow a truck. You would then be the only house with 4 vehicles who still would need to borrow a truck.
God, it's true.
You are turning into that guy from what did we talked about him last week? The junkyard from the Netflix documentary. What was it?
No, man. I'm Stephen Avery.
No, God, I would never say that. Because again, Stephen Avery, convicted murderer.
Yeah.
But you are turning into the Avery compound.
Yeah.
By collecting vehicles.
That is, man, you saying 4 vehicles and I still got to borrow one. That hits close to home. Because by next week, one of the vehicles is going to be out of here.
Has to be. Got to have a sense of rationalization.
But
right?
I may replace it with a trailer.
Right.
That I need.
Trailer makes sense. So I want to see you get a trailer.
Yeah.
I'm going to be on trailer hunt for you.
Okay. All right. Appreciate it. Need at least 5x8, maybe 6x10.
We made good ground here today.
Did we?
You and I are going to go to marriage counseling.
Yep.
You're going to get the Comanche up and running next week. Mm-hmm. And we're going to leave here and you're going to cut me a check for my part of the proceeds for travel agent Kyle.
I don't know about that. All right. Well, yeah. So I don't know when we're recording next. I don't know what's going to happen between now and then. I'm not really...
Boy, fun fact, Steve, we are recording again before you even go to New Jersey.
Oh, are we really?
Not once.
We're recording twice?
We're recording
in the next
twice.
8 days?
You got it. So stay tuned.
Okay.
I can't wait. The bummer is that I don't get to hear about your trip to New Jersey for another 4 weeks at this point.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that there's going to be a lot to talk about.
I love it.
All right. So just like when I first got the Comanche running a couple of years ago, I need you to be ready at any point for a random cryptic text message. I think last time it said the eagle has landed. The lion roars at midnight.
Yeah.
And I pulled into your driveway. Mm-hmm. You could probably hear me coming for a couple miles. Smell it long after I left.
I discarded those clothes. They stunk so much of the rich fumes of gasoline and petrol.
Well, that text is coming. Hopefully in the next couple days. We'll talk to you next week.
Just got to clear a handful of maples.